tradition this day and age to read any good news on the newspaper page. And love and tradition of the grand design, some people say is even harder to find.
Here we are, all five of us, back in the saddle for another episode of All Things Real Estate.
I'm excited.
It's good to see you guys.
Good to see you.
How was so you know, January to me felt like it took 2 months to get through, and then now here we are, almost the end of February. How are your years going so far?
It's crazy out there. It's a jungle.
Jungle?
Well, it's definitely raining like it.
That's a bloodbath.
That's a bloodbath?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Tons of offers. We talked about last podcast about how in a market that's going up this fast, you just kind of have to pray.
Pray?
Pray and spray.
Well, you have to be ahead of the market because the data is lagging.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Pray and find a good
So when
real
you say
estate
going
agent.
up, like values are skyrocketing right now again?
Yeah, we must be 10 to 15% over what
You know,
we were in November.
I just saw a report said 12%.
Yeah.
I said
Yeah.
10 to 15. That's pretty good.
There you go.
Week over week, things are going up. Like just the one on Curie that you got, that's 50K over the last comp that was pending.
Yeah.
You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
it's-
week over week.
Santa Teresa, Cambrian, Fremont, Milpitas. They're
Newark.
going nuts.
Newark, yeah.
East Bay.
And I'm assuming that's where we're going to get into the stats because we have zero inventory. Is that what's causing this, David?
Yeah, and we're actually going to talk about, in a little bit, we're going to talk about one of the reasons why we have zero inventory. But back to the stats. We have 432 active properties.
That's crazy.
For Santa Clara
What do you
County.
mean single family homes?
We
started
started this time last year we had like 800.
Last week we had 379. So we're
what I'm
up. So
saying.
we're up like 45.
I know
What
we have
about
this
last
data.
year?
I want to go back to see when historically have we ever been that low?
It's
All of last year.
Well, January of last year, but I mean,
Yeah, I think around December
We had like
2021 as well.
250.
yeah.
nuts.
Yeah.
So
Very low.
432 active, 527 pending. Condos didn't move much. They went up 1 unit to 252 active and 267 pending. But yeah, single family homes, I mean,
No.
there just aren't any.
Yeah.
You know, we've talked a lot on prior podcasts about what the state, county, city's doing to increase housing. But this is a really interesting statistic. And Jacob actually, shout out to Jacob who shared that with us today, is that homeowners right now, on average, are staying in their homes over 17 years.
It used to be 5 to 7 years, and 20, 30 years ago it was 5 to 7 years.
Yeah, so
Wow.
20 years ago, back in 2005,
Wow.
it was like 7.8
Yeah,
years,
yeah.
and now it's
Wow.
up to 17. And coming in number 2 in the nation on homeowners staying their butts in their houses, the longest is San Jose.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a combination between boomers that don't have a mortgage and don't need to leave, right?
Right.
They're having their kids or family move back in with them.
Yeah.
And then you have this other huge group of people that have 2 or 3% interest
Yeah,
rates.
right.
So I mean,
Wow.
you know, get used to multiple offers. You know, a lot of competition and getting beat out, right? G. I mean,
Yeah.
14 offers, 20 offers,
40
And
offers.
40 offers.
Yeah.
And some of these homes that we're seeing too, they're not selling and people are moving in there. I mean, I keep track of the rental market as well. There's a lot of homes that I've seen just in the last year that have literally been bought and closed, and then less than a week later, it's on the rental market being rented out. I'm like,
Yeah, which is crazy
wow.
about a long term there because there's no cash flow in that situation at all.
Well, it depends.
No.
Do you know how many people are coming in with $1 million down?
I was gonna
Like,
say I've seen a lot more cash offers recently than I did last year.
I don't get it. And when you say those numbers, man, I mean, for us to be at I call it a healthy market, both good for buyers and sellers, you got to be at 3,500 in our valley.
Yeah, I'd be happy with 1,500.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Just so you have some choice.
What did I
Some
say that
normalcy.
one time last year?
Wow.
literally
We was gonna get
1,500.
Yeah.
and what was the highest it got up to? roughly?
600.
Like
700 or 800.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
We didn't get over 1,000.
no,
Dude,
No,
I think-
condos and single.
if you add everything
yeah,
together.
then it was at 1,100.
Well, and that's what I was saying. Like at the beginning of this year, the first week, you said the market we had 322. So week 1 of January, 322 homes, single family homes, 400 something now.
It's still nothing.
Slowly creeping.
Well, but I don't see.
Slowly
Although
creeping.
I'll tell you what, just in my neighborhood alone, I know of more coming soon properties like over the next 2 months than actually sold in my neighborhood in the last 6.
Sure,
So
sure.
I people are starting to take advantage of that appreciation.
Yes, and when we have those masterminds with other agents, even outside of our group and outside of our company, everybody's got 5-10 listings stacking up and coming on,
Yeah.
but they're getting absorbed so quickly.
Well, yeah,
I mean, my gosh.
432 active, 527 pending, right? So I mean, we have 3.5 weeks worth of inventory.
Well, and I know some of us Ben are having a little bit of challenge on some.
Well, yeah, there are pockets
we
that
can
aren't
edit that out if
selling.
you want. But yeah, there's some pockets that
Whoa.
aren't selling, but for the most part, we're putting these homes on the
If
market.
it's priced right and it's a good product, right? It shows
Yeah.
well, or it's a complete hoarder house fixer-upper, right?
But dude, I paid a record premium for that price.
For a hoarder house?
Yeah, just to get into the market over there because there's no other.
And that's what I
houses
mean.
to
I don't
choose
even
from.
think it comes down to the price of where you price it. It just
always
comes
comes down to price.
Yeah, it always comes
comes
down
down
to
to price.
not necessarily in some of these areas. There's no inventory. Everyone's seeing the home when it
From
comes
the
on the
guy,
market.
from the guy who has the most amount of active listings. What's your days on the market, Ben?
But this is my point. It
I
has
think
nothing. My active days on market isn't us not getting offers. I've brought in over 5 offers for them. It's the number that they don't want. So that's the difference. The
Price matters.
If I priced it lower or higher, I'm still not getting that price point that they want. That it has nothing to do with that.
So I take the listing.
Why take the listing?
Yeah.
Yeah, help educate the
Fugazi,
agents out there.
Fugazi.
Yeah,
It doesn't
why
exist.
take it? Because there are no listings. And at the beginning of the year, when there were no listings, we were doing anything for business. So for me, again, I took the listing as we can put it on the market. Let's see if we can get your price point. If not, you have to be under the understanding that we need to come down.
And how long has that been on the market now?
14 days. And we've
So now's the
received.
time to.
Have that discussion.
And that's what I mean. Like, we keep getting the offers. It's just not that price that they
So,
want.
so I'll reiterate kind of what you're saying for our purposes, because we do have this. Sometimes you get the seller who's coming up, property. We might believe through being in the trenches that it's a $2 million piece of property. Seller's saying, "Listen, it's 2.5." Right? And what are we going to tell them? Kind of where you're at right now. It's like, listen, I'll take the listing because we're going to invest at least $6,000 to $8,000 into your listing, and it's a
Yeah.
business to business type of deal, right? I got to make sure that I'm going to make my money back on this.
Yep.
So as long as you're committed after 14 days, because within 2 weeks in our marketplace,
We'll know.
We're going to know exactly where you need to sell because we're going to have over 200, 300 people, agents through this property telling us. So Mr. and Mrs. Seller, at that point, if I come back to you and the market is telling us that it's 2 million or 2.2, are you going to listen to the market and respond to it?
Right.
Because at that point, we either reduce the price or you take it off the market.
Well, yeah, and I think you bring up a good point. This isn't me telling you this. The market,
market.
has responded to
Right.
what we've put out there, and this
Right.
is what they're saying.
And that's a great point. And again, it's like you can look at the stats for all the people that have come through the open house, the amount of disclosures we've had, the amount of views and saves we have on Zillow. Everything is performing the way it should be. The buyer doesn't feel, compared to the market and what's out there, that home is worth that amount of money. Although we are getting the attraction, it's just not worth that. It's not like it's not worth anything. It's just not worth the amount of money you want.
Yeah. So Jacob, if you could just edit that into a clip for Ben, it's going to send it right to his sellers,
Yeah.
and we're good. Just tell them to listen to the podcast.
Off topic. It's like sellers just circle around, like they just hide behind a bush when they hear this stuff. It's like they don't want to hear it, and that's
I
the
gotta
hardest
tell you,
part.
And this is a great open conversation that like we have during our team. Never take an overpriced listing. I'm sorry, man, but it's terrible for the seller. It's terrible for the agent because ultimately what's going to happen is the seller's going to get pissed off at you as the agent because you're not listening to them. You're not selling their property for the value they think it is. You're going to get pissed off at the seller because they're not listening to you, and it's usually a freaking. It's just futility. It doesn't go anywhere.
And it's a time suck, right? And that's
money suck.
Well,
we
yeah,
spend
and
a lot
money
of time
suck.
and money on our listings.
Cheap
Yeah.
drives the
So-
Folsom for it.
Exactly. I mean,
doubt.
I'm having a similar situation, right? Like
Right.
we have a really nice property. It would be about 4-5 million down here, but the market there is just totally different.
Right,
Lots
right.
of there's quite a few options out there for people, but and lots of new construction. So similar.
Yeah.
Similar
So I'll tell you,
situation.
as you guys gain more experience, kind of like on this side of the table you'll probably stop taking those type of listings.
Mark,
But I will say,
who hurt you
Hey,
today?
am I not speaking the truth?
All I know is Heather walked out of your office and said, "Oh my God, Dad, who hurt you?"
I
yesterday?"
Well,
told
see
my
that-
kids
okay.
don't work for me; they'll be
Mark-
worse than my own employees.
Mark woke up and chose violence.
Ben, are you?
Yeah.
I will say this on Jeet and Ben's behalf because we were all newly in the business, at
And they're
some
bad.
point. Well,
Not
yeah,
taking anything
yeah,
against.
no, you guys are top in our office, but I also feel, and that's one of the reasons why I appreciate us as a team is there's I can't talk today, an innate desire to try to help people.
Yeah,
right. And
very true.
and I know
Very
you
true.
want to be able to help them
Right.
not only sell the home but get the price you want or the price they want. And a lot of times that's why, especially early on, why we take on those listings because we want to perform for our client.
But here's what I always push to my listings now. I've got a saying that I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear. And that's why when you have a seller who's telling you that property, they believe, oh, my property's so much better because I got, I just put a new roof on where their roof is 10 years old, or I just remodeled my kitchen. I don't give a it's the same property pretty much, right?
It's like, do you want me to lie to you or do you want to tell you the truth?
I'm not going to be one of those agents that tell you what you want to hear.
Yeah.
Anyways,
So
we can move on, I guess.
Yep, and that's the thing, right? I mean, we've all had those types of properties, and it's just, you have to have a tough conversation, and if the seller respects, your experience and what you do for your profession, then they'll adjust, and if not,
Well, I look at it as going to a doctor or an attorney, right? I want my doctor to rip that Band-Aid off and tell me what the situation is.
Yeah.
Don't BS me.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Exactly.
Anyways.
Willow Glen, high density housing.
Yeah, so oftentimes we talk about how little inventory we have. On my way home, I was driving and I saw a proposal for a development. And I thought, oh, cool. Looks like they're going to take one of these half-acre to acre lots down. This is in Willow Glen. And didn't think anything of it. I know it's totally within the guidelines to be able to build something.
Yep.
We're talking, it looked like between 8 and 10 units. I did find out further it is 10. It's going to be 3 stories. They're going to have their own private access road.
Mm-hmm.
Then someone came around to door knock me and to hand me the neighborhood coalition for why we should not allow this to happen. I went ahead and sent you over a video, Jacob, if you could roll that during this. And basically what it is now, it's between 5 and 7 houses who are very large lots, as I said. They have anything from boats, trash cans, broken down cars in the front of their driveway.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like these are beautiful houses, and they're going to take one of these ugly houses and they're going to build 10. It fits all of the requirements. It fits what the state wants to do. It fits what the cities want to do. And the neighbors are pissed.
The NIMBYs. The NIMBYs. I got a call the other day on a similar situation where it was a client saying, Mark, I need a real estate attorney. Well, what's the issue? What's going on? Like, well, we live in this really nice neighborhood, and they're about half-acre lots, and all of a sudden one of our neighbors, they sold their property, and the guy's coming in, he's saying that they're going to do this high density just like that. I'm like, well, don't waste your money on an attorney. There's nothing you can do. You can delay the project by being a NIMBY and getting in front of the town and saying you're not going to support it and everything, but the reality of it is the state is going to force these issues.
Yeah, and they're not doing anything they're not allowed to do.
No,
To your point.
100%.
Yep.
What's a NIMBY?
I was just going to say, gee, what's a NIMBY? You don't know?
No, it's a NIMBY.
Not in my backyard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
NIMBY.
but imagine, and Aaron and I were talking about this before we went on today. Imagine buying a half acre or an acre lot, in the heart of Willow Glen. You're excited because you have all that space, and then 3 years down the road, you have a 10-unit building right next door to you, looking down into your backyard, into your swimming pool.
Yeah.
Well, what about that house that we sold on 22nd Street? And there was that project right down the street, on a 10,000 square foot lot that they were putting
six large, like 1,300 square foot.
Do they have to rezone or
Yes.
Yeah.
right?
But the cities are doing, even again, it all goes back to the housing elements that each one of these communities need, and San Jose is one where they've approved all this stuff in order for them to get their housing element approved by the state.
Yeah. So San Jose has a general plan, and you can look at the general plan.
Yeah.
You can see the areas that they are open to rezoning to multifamily or high density housing.
But what's crazy is all of the reasons that this neighborhood coalition mentioned are there's zero chance they're not.
Oh, 100%.
It's like they're gonna shut down the sewer lines. There's gonna be too much traffic. It's gonna be this. It's gonna. I'm like, okay, well, they're totally in the does it check the boxes? Yes.
It was just like when we had Bill Myers on here last time, and he explained all of that. I mean, it's really, state of California has made it their mission. And which most people do. That's why we say NIMBY. Everybody wants affordable housing. Everybody knows that we need that, but not in their own backyard.
So they're saying it doesn't achieve the Affordable Housing Act, and it's a loophole by the developer.
So if you're a buyer and you're looking through your prelim and JCP report and everything, you're not going to be able to see on there that the parcel behind you is. You'd have to go to the city to look that up.
Go to the city, do your research on those properties around you. I'm in contract on a piece of property that people have had as their own private little park for years, not understanding that was privately owned and at some point would be developed. there are certain ways that you can protect yourself. You want to look on the prelim to see, do you have a view easement? Are there certain easements that would prevent that property from behind you either being redeveloped or going up to 2 stories? Because if you have a view easement, that'll stop those type of things, right? Or an egress easement, those type of things.
But this is a good disclaimer for anybody thinking about buying, is that, chances are your view may not be protected. Chances are your neighbor could sell and they could add a 4-unit structure or a 10-unit structure. Just know that there's no guarantees anymore because of the housing element, that you're protected, that your privacy.
And personally, I don't agree. I mean, it's to the point now where HOAs cannot stop this. It's like literally you can go to La Rinconada, which is a gated community, right? And the laws now, the HOAs cannot stop adding like an ADU in their backyard, even though the HOA wouldn't allow it beforehand.
So with that ADU, so if the ADU is in the backyard of an HOA, does that ADU automatically pick up? Well, it's not going to be split yet, but if they split that parcel, would that automatically fall under the?
It wouldn't have a separate address if it was an ADU.
Not yet.
But there's the laws that are allowing you to do a common interest development
and then sell it off.
So if you lot split, you would naturally fall under the HOA.
Yeah, there'd be certain guidelines the HOA would be required.
Because Bill was saying that if you have a home and then let's say you have a home and then you put 2 ADUs in the backyard, you have to build an HOA for those 2 units.
Oh, that was if you're selling them off.
Yeah, if you're selling them
If
off.
you're selling them off. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
But what's more realistic of what's happening is the small little 2-bed 1-bath house in Willow Glen's getting taken down, such as the house next door to me.
Right.
And they're building a 6,500 square foot house. The primary
I've been to your
bedroom
property, dude.
primary bedroom has a nice huge
I hope you
1,800 square foot deck right over my pool. I said, hopefully you like to see a
little
baby
skinny
swimming
dipping.
around, a little skinny dip in action. I'll be like this, hi. He goes, the neighbor that's building it comes over to the backyard. He goes, oh, wow, I guess I didn't realize how much I'm building on top of you.
Yeah, right.
So that's an interesting thing. I mean, what if Aaron is out there skinny dipping?
He has 2 little girls. It's like, what if I was crazy?
What if?
That is an interesting concept, but
I have a real life example of what we were just talking about SB9, right? I actually visited this homeowner yesterday, and she lives on a busier street on Milpitas. She has a 4-bed 2-bath main house with an extension on top on the second level with another 2-bed 1-bath that she rents out. It has a separate access through the garage, and she's thinking about building 2 more units in her backyard. Right, it'll be attached to her house because if she detaches, it doesn't give her enough space. So she's building. She asked me whether she should build 1 2-bed 1-bath unit or 2 2-bed 1-bath units, adding another 1,500 square feet in her backyard. Right.
I'm sorry, how big was the lot?
The lot is about 7,000
So
square
just a
feet.
basic
average lot.
Yeah, it's basic.
Wow.
She has enough backyard space. She's on a busier street. She has the
So
setback
she
in the
can
front.
build 2-bed 1-baths, or she could build
4-bed 2-bath initially total. Like you'll
Four?
build, you'll
A
build
4-bed
2
2-bath attachment or a 2-bed
I would say it's
1-bath?
better to have 2 2s.
Well, it depends what you're going for. I mean,
So her question
That's
was
a lot of people in your backyard.
right?
right.
Triplex.
So then you go on to sell this house, and you'd be listing it as a 10-bedroom home or a duplex.
Well, no, because you'd have the additional square footage, right? Because you have the main house, right, which is a 4.2 or 4.3, and so you list that on the MLS, and then you have the additional.
Even if it's attached?
But then in total, it becomes 3,700 square feet from a 1,500 main house plus 700 addition.
And this is in a. Well, you said it was on a busy road. Is there multi-residential around it, or
No, these are all single-family homes.
Yeah,
Just
Side
let her know to just probably not do it.
Is like
Well,
the parking even
because it
efficient
makes
for that?
sense.
Here
She
would
would
be
only-
I would advise them, if they're in a neighborhood, to keep the flow of the neighborhood, the typical buyer is going to want that type of a family neighborhood. So go with the 3,700 square foot house, maybe with a small little ADU off the back.
Right.
If it's in an area where you've got busy
Mixed
roads, you
use
got mixed use in there, go for the multi-res.
What is the parking
Nah,
like? Is there a lot of
multi-res, all the way multi.
is there a lot of parking in the driveway or?
No, but there's
There's street
You
parking.
know what?
Yeah,
See if you
street
could
parking.
squeeze 3 in.
Well, but that's the thing, right? With the ADU laws, you don't have parking requirements.
Yeah, exactly. And then she has separate access for those.
That's
you
right. They
know,
don't have to
so
have their own parking
You,
spot.
you
right?
guys know the
become
good
3
news about
separate
this? We have
units.
such great public transportation. It's gonna
Yeah, right.
Yeah, do you use that?
It's just people
When was the last time
walking
you
to
were
the
on a
side.
bus, dude?
be probably 6th grade.
We're getting in the weeds a little bit, but
All right.
that's actually a good question from a lending perspective. So if it's if it's zoned R1, you have your main house, and then you have the space above, and you have an attached ADU, right? So when an appraiser goes out there, they're going to give you the value for the single family home, and then are they going to give you incremental rental value for the other 2 units? And
I would assume so.
And what is like the Fannie Freddie guidelines for how many
it's under, as long
ADUs
as
they'll lend?
Well, it's under. I'm assuming as long as it's no more than 4 units.
Yeah.
Still 1 to 4 units, right?
Well, the question is like how much is overdevelopment, right? Like how much addition is actually not giving you that ROI back. Like it's a 1.6 home right now with that addition on top. If she spends another $400K to build this,
what's the end goal?
Well, she's going to stay in there for 10 years and then probably sell it and retire elsewhere. So the goal is to just generate income through those
Yeah, I mean,
units
at that point, it no longer becomes interesting to a single family that wants to buy a home and live in there, right?
Exactly.
You're
It'll
selling
be
it
an
to
investor,
investors. Yeah, you're selling it to investors.
Would that 400K yield 2.5, right? That's the biggest thing, like
Well,
3,700
we also look at the
square
cash
feet.
flow that it'll generate
cash
during
flow.
that time too, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's a more complex. I mean, in 10 years, likely that it's over 2.5.
Well, yeah, and in 20 years, what are our neighborhoods going to look like?
New York.
Right? You're going to have 3 regular houses and then a 12-unit structure, and then 2 houses, 2 regular houses, and then a house with 14 ADUs on it, right? I mean, it is what it is.
And then I guess if one person does it, then the neighbors get pissed off, and then maybe they start doing it as well, and it just all becomes very dense.
Yep.
Right.
That was the whole complaint about SB9. It was just going to open up those doors.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen it yet.
No.
But I guess we're starting to hear about it. I mean, where
It's
they're
coming.
going in. Yeah, it is coming.
I would say the only city, to your point of them hitting the housing requirement, that it's not happening to is Campbell.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, because
Builder's
so
remedy.
you said it's like it's coming. There's something in the future, right? I don't think we want to get too deep into it in this podcast, but
Top 10 list.
our entire
no.
no, this one we will get into.
We'll give them a teaser.
Yeah, but the teaser will be the days of a buyer's agent is quickly coming to a potential end.
Oh, why do they need to hear about that?
I'm just saying.
It's great.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. So
Wait for all the lawsuits when a seller agent represents you on both sides.
Yeah, I think we should do an entire podcast dedicated to what is going on with agent commissions throughout the United States and how just 4, 5, 6 months ago we thought, oh, this will take place over the next 3 to 5 years. It's actually taking place
happening
right now.
It's happening now.
Yeah. So by this time next year, or by the end of next year, latest, it's going to look completely different.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it doesn't mean that there won't be buyer representation. It's just that buyers will be responsible for paying for that representation.
Correct.
For the most part.
Yep. But that's just a teaser.
Yep.
A lot more to come.
Good luck,
And-
first-time home
So,
buyers.
do
Good
you-
luck.
Do you want to go back to our top 10 list? All right. So, and there's no new here. This is
Top 10. Top 10.
Hey,
We need something to splatter on the
Jacob
screen.
doesn't like when you pound on the table.
So 2024 Milken Institute Best Performing City.
Who is Milken?
Index.
Who's Milk? Harvey Milk?
Google it. Google it. All right. A very renowned
Milk and
institute.
cookies.
Very highly respected. No surprises. And the index measures the vitality of 200 large metro areas, 203 small metro areas based off of the performance of labor market, tech sector, access to economic opportunities, jobs, wages, high-tech growth, housing affordability, and broadband coverage. Broadband, internet services.
Internet access.
Right?
That's important
Exactly.
stuff.
It is. Anybody want to take a guess of the large cities? You know, the top.
What's the question? You said milk and then you started reading off a bunch of stuff.
It's the 2024 Milken Institute.
So based on all of that
hold on.
criteria,
Best performing cities.
best performing
Performing
cities,
in
those
Milk,
areas.
milk sales.
All right, let's say it all
Ben,
together.
why don't you just have
In the nation.
the biggest guess for number 1?
In the nation.
The best performing cities based
What
on
do
the
you
criteria
think?
that Mark
San Jose.
mentioned.
Mark
San Jose.
Foncano. It's Mark Foncano.
San Jose.
No, re-guess. Just give us a better guess.
He's got it tattooed on his backside.
Let's say
Like
it all.
Austin, Texas.
Texas, baby.
Yeah.
I'm surprised no changes in this from, and I'm saying this because I'm only saying this.
My investments are booming.
Yeah, does anybody want to buy some property out in Austin? We might be selling. No, I'm saying this because we are also doing the teaser with redoing our whole wealth building seminar, right? And we've always looked at new emerging markets.
Yeah, you've teased
So
it for
we're
2
looking
years
at
now.
Austin,
Sounds like
Round
my
Rock,
growth
number
property.
1, Raleigh, North Carolina, Boise City, Idaho, Salt Lake City, Utah. I mean, really no surprises. It's Utah, Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah, all the places we told
Dallas,
everybody to go buy
they're,
on.
they're all there. They're all there. Now, there have been some major changes. major changes. So we've got
broadband.
Austin still holds number 1. We know that. We have Idaho Falls retains number 1 on the small cities. That's in Idaho. Idaho Falls, just to clarify. No. And then the one city it's in California that had experienced the most dramatic decline, droppings by 74 spots to its current 161st position. It is in California.
Fresno.
Gum wall. They have a gum wall.
No. San Luis Obispo.
Oh.
Paso Robles.
Easy, buddy.
Dude, you know who was asking about Austin?
Who?
Nobody.
That's funny. I was wondering who put up that new board up there where it's...
The bald board.
Yeah, what's that all about?
Complaining
Keep-
equals garbage
Keep
magnet.
your emotions between the lines.
No pressure, no diamonds.
It's not about selling real estate. It's about following a schedule.
Things aren't always how they appear to be.
You
Logic makes you act.
You get what you deserve in your imagination.
What are we talking about right now?
I have a guess on who put that up there, but I will keep my.
You teach people
Thoughts
how
to
to teach
myself.
you.
I'm so glad we're leaving this office.
Oh, what do you mean, David?
No, I
you
just
mean
mean
physically. We're just having
Intero?
a new. Hey, check yourself.
No.
No, we will
Check
never leave
yourself.
No,
KW,
we're never
blue and
leaving
true.
KW.
Red and true. Whatever.
All right. Well, boys and girls,
Coming to an end, is that it?
Ben, what are you guys going to tell us?
They did. We
yeah,
talked about
let me-
overpriced listings. We talked about
about building
SB9.
SB9.
Let me throw one more item in there real quick.
Let's do it.
Recently heard this. So
Okay.
coming to the summer, this is their expected timeline, but Caltrains are looking to switch in all engines to batteries.
Wow.
So all of those homes near train tracks,
quiet.
you're not going to be able to hear the trains as much.
You're
not
for
when they
sale.
come by, not when they rumble.
You're still going to feel it.
Yeah.
You're still going to feel it, dude.
Yeah.
They're saying you're not going to feel as much. They're saying that the acceleration has.
Is the honking less?
I don't know.
It's sonar.
Are the train tracks when they go dee, 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 when they drop?
You know they're going to have speakers
They're
just
also,
like...
yeah, the trains are also adding 3 more carts on the
Are
back.
they also
so
going to
they're
connect
gonna-
the whole bay?
They're going to ramp up.
I heard that...
And is
that
anybody
Hyperloop.
actually going to ride them?
Aaron said he rides the train often.
Surf them. He surfs them. Hey, I heard that Tesla's coming out with a new add-on that you can actually make it sound like a real engine.
Yes, they're also.
So we're going backwards.
they have a lot of add-ons. They also have one that comes up out of the seat and you can sit on for better protection on the bum.
Okay. On that note, that might be edited out. I'm not sure about that one.
Dude, how old are you? Who says bum?
I missed Mustache Minute, man. What happened there?
That was it.
I tried to rip
The
it.
bum sitter.
Yeah.
Bum
The
sitter.
bum
Bum
sitter.
sitter.
All right. On that note, Chief, you got anything?
Gee, do you want to add to it?
I'm good.
No, I mean,
He's got a Tesla too. He hasn't tried the bum sitter.
Gee, I'm telling you, it's hot.
It just penetrates
It's
the
hot.
leather.
You ever seen Borat, like the little bike he rides?
we predicted that Jeet would be the first to leave our team, and I'm doubling down on
Not
that
only
because
that-
he's wearing his own monogram shirts now, not team shirts.
But come on, I
get
see
more
that
team
around.
shirts,
It's
mate.
the- it's-
Not
it's-
only that, but buyer's agents are gone. So not only did you quit, you don't have a job.
Oh, all right. Bum, bum, bum.
Bye.
All right, everybody. See you later.